Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are still at the bins, and this was back in May. This is my husband's camera. Unfortunately, we normally do this together, but our schedules are just not matching up, and it's almost November. We only did the morning. This is the Goodwill bins in Bridgeton, Missouri. My oldest son had a band competition the night before, and we decided, why not? And we took him with us to the Goodwill Outlet. I probably would have looked at that tray that's turned upside down. I am a sucker for trays. Also, cross-stitch patterns, cross-stitch kits go very well. I have a bunch of random cross-stitch stuff I got in a huge garbage bag at a rummage sale, and they were like $1 for everything. I was like, cool. And walked away with a literal garbage bag full of cross-stitch like fabric, but unfortunately none of it was labeled. So, he got something on his hand. And that is why we wear gloves. He finds me and gets new gloves, by the way, for those of you that don't know. Also old games. I don't know what is with this outlet, but a grand majority of their games and stuff were together. They had all the pieces, like they were taped together so they weren't dumped out everywhere. With a lot of other games and stuff, you will see them dumped out everywhere. He's looking at the clothes this time. There I am. And he's getting a new glove from me. I actually had to cut it because my son also came up to us and started talking. So we don't do a lot in the clothes. We just haven't been successful with the clothes here. I guess I will rephrase that. We haven't been successful for reselling in the clothes here, but we have been successful for ourselves in the clothes here. So that's nice, but reselling is not. And honestly, I was joking with my husband last night that we need to go back to the bins because my oldest had another growth spurt, and we were walking behind him at camp last weekend and noticed that his pants were showing about 3 inches of his ankle. And we just bought those pants. So I'm not sure when boys stop growing, but we're hitting a need to buy new clothes. I think we're down to 2 uniform pants for him. Also, we are thinking about getting rid of our clothing in our eBay store and just having very specific higher end clothing. It's taking up room and it is long tail for us. We're keeping it for longer than I wanted. It's hard. It takes a long time to do. We have to do a lot of measurements, a lot of pictures. The things we get returns on are clothing. They aren't other things. So we are thinking about getting rid of a lot of our clothing and just maybe keeping 1 or 2 tubs of it. Right now, I want to say we have 17 tubs of clothing. We're also planning on having a garage sale this weekend, or not this weekend, but the weekend after. I'm recording this on a Wednesday. We're hoping the last weekend of October to have a rummage sale. We live in the Midwest. It is going to be cold, but the weather is still nice. Not rain, not any of that. We're also renting a dumpster next week for another project, and hopefully whatever we don't sell, we can just dumpster it. I hate doing that. It is like against every fiber of my being to throw perfectly good, usable items in a dumpster. But I can't turn my house into a dumpster anymore for those items. They're just not selling. We have been buying auction lots and stuff and finding a lot of damaged goods in that. So to get rid of those, we will donate what can be donated, but things that just are beyond their wear or broken in some way, shape, or form will just go in the dumpster. We're also trying to get rid of a really nice queen-size bed that we put in a room thinking it was going to be a spare bedroom, and we had visitors. We've lived in our house for 12 years almost, and we've had visitors maybe 10 times in those 12 years. And a grand majority of times we have like kids come over or slumber parties or anything. They're not using that room. And that room could be used for different things. And the queen size bed is just taking up room. It's a nice bed. It has maybe a year total of use on it. We bought it right before we moved into our house because, funny story, we ruined our other queen size bed because my water broke on it when I was pregnant with my son and we threw it away. Well, we put it outside our dumpster because we couldn't go into our dumpster with it, and somebody took it, and that's gross. And like, I feel like writing notes on things. Don't take this. The project we're doing a dumpster for, honestly, people should not, like, we're wearing almost full hazmat suits for this. People should not be taking the stuff out of that dumpster that we're putting in. It's just not healthy. And we don't know how we're going to go about putting, like, don't do that. Don't take these, don't take these items out of the dumpster. Also, I keep saying also, I'm so sorry. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've had 4 hours of sleep. We have been sick since September. All of us, coughing, hacking, no voice, sinus, everything. I don't know what's going on. I will say where we are, our weather took a big change about 2 days ago. We went from 80-degree days to all of a sudden a high of 50. And that's been messing with me physically, like pain level wise. But I kind of want the first hard freeze to happen so it kills off a lot of these allergy causing things. I probably, depending on the size of the sweatshirt or sweater he just pulled out, I probably would have bought that for myself. I think it's adorable. I wear ugly sweatshirts unironically. I do like them. One of my favorite shirts for the fall is a shirt with a kitten and leaves, and it's so 90s, and I love it, and I got it at the bins. I will say, there were 2, I want to call them kids because I'm old. There were 2 males, I'd probably say late teens, early 20s there, going through the clothes, trying to find 90s throwback clothes. I would have also got that sweater because I think that's a vintage Tommy sweater. And they were like going through and pulling stuff. They're like, is this 90s? Is this 90s? Is this 90s? And what was so funny is a lot of individuals that were my age in the 90s or maybe a slightly older were like, that's not 90s. That's 90s. That's not 90s. So like they would just walk by these 2 young adults and be like, no, we didn't wear that in the 90s. Or yes, we wore that in the 90s. They weren't looking for grunge, which I was very much a grunge in the 90s. They weren't looking for grunge. They were looking for like Tracksuit, Vanilla Ice, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type 90s, not Nirvana. Didn't take a shower in a week and my hair's covering my face 90s. Also, I saw butterfly clips are back. What the heck? Why? They were useless and like hurt. So, but they're back. I don't know. The kids did find a couple tracksuits, and my personal favorite to find, and they do actually still sell quite well, are the old vintage pullover starter jackets that were part of like sports teams. My husband found a Chicago Bulls one and he kept it because it had a burn mark on the sleeve, so we didn't want to sell it, but it was the Bulls of the 90s, the dream team, the glorification of it. Now, my best friend in school had a Mighty Ducks one, and I absolutely coveted that. So if I found a Mighty Ducks one, I'd probably keep it for myself. You see a pair of clothes or pants maybe are on the floor. I will say overall, there is some items you'll see on the floor, but this bins was fairly clean compared to other bins. I also have a weakness for tie-dye, so I probably would have got the tie-dye too. This, as you see in these videos, I am wearing black and gray tie-dye. But this bins overall is fairly clean. Yes, there was a couple items on the floor, but we are a solid almost hour into it being open. And these maniacs fly through in the first 30 minutes, fill their carts, and they're gone. And then after that, it's pretty smooth sailing. It's not as hyper competitive as we've seen in other bins. I don't know what he's doing to this. I will say We are wearing GoPros magnetic. They're on like magnetic mounts to our chests. Lots of Junior Blues stuff. Junior Blues is a Springfield team. St. Louis Blues hockey team. Cardinal stuff, and one of my lovely viewers pointed out to me, apparently there is a Vera Bradley outlet around here, and that's why we see a lot of Vera Bradley stuff. I'm surprised we don't see more like outdoorsy stuff, because there is literally a Cabela's like across the street from this. I don't know. I mean, obviously people aren't going to buy it at Cabela's and walk it across the street to the Goodwill Outlet, but this is Illinois. This is this is Missouri, close to Illinois. It's around the river. I'm surprised there aren't more outdoorsy type stuff there. More camo heavy. We are in summer. I try not to get anything with a school logo on it unless it's a college. I will pick up things with college logos on them, not local schools or high schools or anything like that, but college logos I will pick up. We have a school close to us, the University of Illinois, and they redid their mascot because their mascot was racist. And they got rid of Chief Illiniwek as their mascot. And any shirts you find with Chief Illiniwek on them sell quite well because, again, they don't exist. Now I think their mascot's a weird bird, but I don't follow it, and none of my kids are in college yet. There are a lot of shirts here that are just printed on the Glidden, whatever. They're just screen printed on t-shirts. I love finding like concert shirts, vintage NASCAR shirts sell really well, vintage wrestling shirts. I did find a monster truck shirt once that went really well, and I found a Rolling Stones tour shirt, like original tour from the 1970s. That sold very well for me. I thought it was funny because I was never into the Rolling Stones. That wasn't my jam, but it did sell quite well. I talked about in a previous video, we did not list for the entire month of August or the entire month of September. However, my husband broke the streak. He listed this October. He listed 5 items. So I'm like, no, our streak is done. But it is what it is. Honestly, though, the listing didn't help any. I didn't see like a increase in there. However, what did help was I put our store, a lot of things in our store, on 40% off. Mainly clothes, because again, we want to get rid of clothes. I only sold one clothes item for 40% off, but it sparked a lot of sales in other items and some of the stuff we've had for a very long time, which was super nice. So we've listed 4 new items, and I put a 40% off sale on probably over half of our store. And I did get roughly 10 sales right after that happened. So it is worth it. If you're not listing, start doing sales. I've heard other people like delist and then relist. I've not tried that. Maybe that would also work as an activity. I've turned campaigns on, turned campaigns off. Right now, I currently don't have a campaign on. I like to give it a couple days between it because I feel like if I go right from one to another, I don't see the results as much as if I don't do it and then go to the other one. Okay, so we will stop here. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and I promise I'm going to get my crap together sometime and record more videos.